The definition of theory is as follows: a plausible or scientifically acceptable general principle or body of principles offered to explain phenomena.
What's up, theorists? Welcome back to the Can Theory Show. My name is Can Goods. I'll be your host. Today, we're going to be talking about some lizard people. So let's get into it. The realism is first prominently claimed in current times by a far-out conspiracist named David Icke, who was previously an English footballer, then a sports broadcaster, and now he claims he's the son of the Godhead, or the next coming of Jesus. According to Icke, the world is now controlled by the Babylonian Brotherhood, also known as the Draconians. These lizard people are shape-shifting reptile humanoid hybrids. And David Icke claims that Queen Elizabeth, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, the Bush family, the Rothschild family, the Rockefeller family, Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, Boxcar Willie, and Chris Christopherson, both of which are country musicians, are all members of this reptile race. So let's talk about the origin for the Babylonian Brotherhood and where they might have come up with these ideas for these lizard people ruling the world. So it originates from African mythology. A creature known as the Mukele Mbembe is a lizard entity that looks like a brontosaurus. And this being controls the water flow, and it resides within the basin of the Congo River. Taking inspiration from this, and then furthering upon this mythology, we have a couple of authors in the 20th century. We have Robert E. Howard and H.P. Lovecraft. Both of these authors wrote science fiction and horror fiction, and they detailed how these serpentine beings came from ancient worlds and were controlling the interworkings of everything in mankind. And they say all works have some kind of basis in reality, right? So let's get into The Shadow Kingdom, which was a work published by Robert E. Howard in 1929. It's a fictional tale in which the protagonist defends his king from shape-shifting alien race known as the Serpent Men. These Serpent Men belong to an ancient pre-human race that had founded Volusia. But after founding Volusia, they were pushed to the brink of extinction, and using their religious powers, they were able to shapeshift and hide among society. Using this, they would place themselves into advantageous positions and take the place of other people through, of course, shapeshifting. Drawing from this fictional tale heavily, David Icke really went off the deep end and in 1999 published his novel, The Biggest Secret. The Biggest Secret details how the reptilian race originates from the Draco constellation in outer space, and how they now live deep beneath the Earth's surface in another dimension. He claims this is the fourth dimension, which is comprised of sound, and that the reptilians are able to resonate frequencies that tamper with the world around them. This grants telepathic abilities to interfere with the human race. And now we come to the Archons, which are part human and part serpent man. And the Archons feed off of human emotion. This group is separate from the Dracos, and they're a little bit lower in power and influence, but they're the ones that are behind most of what guides the world today and have ties to the Illuminati. So they use their interdimensional psychic abilities to manipulate key personnel that are placed in other secret organizations. These organizations include the Bilderberg Group, the Bush family, the British royal family, the Freemasons, and of course, the Illuminati. Supposedly, these beings are the ones responsible for the bombings of Oklahoma City by Timothy McVeigh, the Holocaust, and you guessed it, 9/11. It's out there, and because of these accusations, there's also a lot of anti-Semitism claims that go against David Icke. So what do these lizard people look like? A description of these lizard people is as follows. They are very tall, up to 9 feet in height, drink human blood, have black, soulless eyes, holes where there would normally be ears, scales, and no body hair. After drinking human blood, they are then able to shapeshift into a human form. As for lizard people hiding among us, prominent figures have allegedly been witnessed shifting, and their eyes turn jet black. A disguised lizard person could possess a number of traits. Among these are green eyes, good eyesight or hearing, having red hair, a sense of not belonging to the human race, unexplained scars on the body, a love of space, and low blood pressure. So if you know of someone with these traits, they could in fact be a lizard person. Or you could be a lizard person and not even know it. Icke claims that these reptilians came to the Earth 200,000 to 300,000 years ago, and are behind many of the cumulative events that have shaped mankind. And who's to say that he's wrong? Many political figures and entities, take Mark Zuckerberg, take Jeff Bezos, they do look like kind of reptilian. And those are two tech billionaires that are globally controlling the economy. Coincidence? I mean, I don't know. And actually, they formally accused Mark Zuckerberg of being a lizard person, and he was asked, to which he responded, "I am not a lizard person." So we've talked about the Dracos, we've talked about the Archons. What reigns supreme over them all are the prison wardens. These prison wardens that have the power over the entire Babylonian Brotherhood, David Icke claims they intend to place microchips in humans and rule the world in a global totalitarian fascist state. This would mean the end of the truth era and bring about the post-truth era, which would end freedom of speech. And their method for going about this is defined as problem, reaction, solution. A term coined by Icke, which he asserts is the method the Illuminati will maintain their grip over the world. First, they develop a problem, such as global warming, for example, which causes widespread fear over the human populace. This fear and anxiety nourishes the Archons and places the Earth in a state of do or die. Then when it suits their means, they bring about the solution to these crises, controlling the fate of industry and globalism, furthering their totalitarian dominance over the world. This is to say that global warming is a hoax that was created by Al Gore, who supposedly is a member of the Archons, and that is not an issue, and is not technically threatening the world. These issues also extend into space, and we have what is called the moon matrix. This theory hypothesizes that the moon is an artificial construction which broadcasts out a signal and controls the human minds. It does so by manipulating the left hemisphere of the human brain, and it leaves them unable to detect they are actually in the matrix. If you've never seen the Matrix before, essentially it's describing how the world that we see around us, this reality, is actually just a simulation. So David Icke claims that everything around us is a false simulation. And to go even further from that, he believes that Saturn also has a part in this as well. The rings of Saturn were constructed by the reptilians in their spacecraft vessels, and they used the hexagonal storm on Saturn as a broadcast. So they broadcast from the hexagonal storm on Saturn, the rings of Saturn, broadcast it to the moon, which amplifies the signal, and that's how they're controlling the left hemisphere of our minds. It's some really far out stuff, literally, and just space mind control planet constructs. I can't get my head around it. I think that's the point. Maybe I'm being manipulated by the Illuminati, and that's why I can't see the truth. Who knows? Maybe it's everyone. So in 2020, there was an event which actually happened in a result of these lizard humanoid conspiracies. A man named Anthony Quinn Warner bombed Nashville on Christmas Day of 2020. Warner was deeply into this conspiracy theory and believed that the reptilians were trying to control our minds with 5G cell phone towers, which is why he chose an AT&T building for his bombing target. He was known to camp out and attempt to hunt these reptilians, and was known for posting statements online warning of the reptilian dominance. In the end, the bomb damaged more than 40 businesses, caused 3 injuries, and Warner was the only fatality. So that's going to do it for our analysis on these lizard people. I'm going to wrap it up with a condensed segment. So lizard people, are they real? Are they not? Are they trying to assert their dominance and control the human race? I don't know. I've been researching this for days. If I look tired, I have been spending all night, some overnighters, and really digging into lizard people theory, which is probably not good for me. It's a far out topic. I don't believe that there are lizard people trying to take over the world. I could see it, keep an eye on your politicians. Make sure if you see their eyes start going jet black or rolling into the back of their heads, that's a bad sign. Photograph that, get some photographic evidence out there, because there's none of that in the world today. Maybe it would give some credence to the whole claim. David Icke is kind of off the shelf, and the fact that there's so many people who actually believe this conspiracy theory is kind of mind-boggling. 4% of U.S. voters believe in this conspiracy theory that David Icke created in the 90s. This is one man who used to be a football player and then went into sports broadcasting, and now it claims he's the son of the Godhead, and people believe that these lizard people are trying to rule the world through the Illuminati. The Illuminati, that's something for a different day. David Icke is just out there, though. When he was doing all this, he was going through what was called the turquoise period, where he would wear a turquoise jumpsuit onto these media appearances. And at one point, when he first claimed that he was the son of the Godhead, he was laughed off stage. And he said that laughter was used by people to get through difficult messages. And the host actually said, "They're not laughing with you, David. They're laughing at you," and humiliated him on public forum. Definitely read into it, because at the very least, you're going to get some entertainment out of it. It's just very crazy. It just sounds like a sci-fi fiction plot, and that's pretty cool to me. I love that kind of stuff, and it has been a lot of fun researching it. And all these nights that I've been looking into it and should have been sleeping, it's been a good time, because at least there's a lot out there on these lizard people, and there's some really crazy photographs. I'll post some of these up throughout the video when I'm talking about these topics, but it's been a good time. And I want to say thank you to all you guys. Keep up the support. I'm loving it. Make sure you guys subscribe, like the video, check out our other media forums. We are on Discord if you want to go into discussion. We have Twitter. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. You guys can listen in any medium that you want. Thank you guys so much. This is your host, Ken Goods, signing off. This would mark the end of the truth era, and it would bring to light the post-truth era, which would end freedom of speech and expression. Just struggling. This is a mouthful. This would end the truth era and bring to light the post-truth era, which would end freedom of speech. I need water. Freedom of speech. This would end the truth era and bring to light the post-truth era, ending freedom of speech. I keep saying speech.